Good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Leanne Jahi and this is The Different Perspective. Man, the internet constantly feeds you with a lot of things, especially TikTok. And sometimes you feel like every content that is coming through your For You page is somehow tailor-made to like deal with the things you're conflicted about. And one thing that I know has been talked about in so many videos on YouTube and TikTok and any other platform is about guys and women and relations, and it's crazy because people want to talk about other people being overthinkers, but I think TikTok has the one space that will continuously feed you to overthinking to the very end. On one spectrum, we have people telling you, "Oh well, this is what you need to do when you need to be a woman for a guy. This is what you need to do when you need to be a guy for a woman." And then in between, they let you know that if a guy is saying this thing, this is actually what they're meaning. I can't be the only one who lives in a time where it's never been so confusing to figure anyone out. Either somebody's putting up an act, or the videos you're watching, they're over explaining stuff, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Most of us are single because we're too scared. And we're too scared because the vulnerability part of the vulnerable part of being a human being has been broken down into so many layers that sometimes it's just so hard to comprehend even your own emotions, feelings. You don't know if you're thinking too much, you're thinking straight. It's a whole jumbled up jungle. I don't know if that's a word, but just take it. Honestly, I can't be the only one. When you go to TikTok and you hear people talk about relations and characters and behavior and patterns, I can't be the only one that overthought things and try to relate it to my day-to-day life. I'm sure we are a bunch of us, and it's just crazy. Sometimes thinking about these things, they can give you a migraine. Somebody honestly needs to come up with a formula that is gonna work, it's gonna hold people accountable, it's gonna simplify stuff. Do we need to start getting into contracted relationships, like with serious paperwork? What are we supposed to do? It's hard to just go by the traditional way of dating, to just meet people, let things flow. It's kind of hard to let things flow at this time in this time in the age. You wanna Google characters. You wanna break down, thinking that you can understand any one person in one day. It's sad because most of us are very anxious and very scared. I'll speak for myself. This kind of stuff, it fucks me over. It makes me extremely anxious, and I don't know whether at this point I'm being objective or it's the anxiety that is talking, you know? Like today I saw something very sound on TikTok, and I couldn't help but try to analyze and try to relate it to where I am in life. There's too much information out there, and no one is telling us how to filter this information so it's productive and not damaging. So we are not on self-sabotage each and every day. There needs to be a filtration, there needs to be a standard control. I don't know if this is gonna be a human being or a bot, but something needs to filter through. Because listen, this is what I know about the human mind. The thing that keeps us on TikTok is the dopamine fulfillment. That's why in one moment, listen, stay with me. The irony of TikTok is tick tock, tick, just like the clock goes tick tock. So you could be there for just one video. By the time you realize you were watching this from 8 p.m. in the night, before you realize it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Time moved so fast. You didn't even realize, but the amount of information that has been taken in is too much. When does your brain have time to filter this information? When does it? I don't think we need to make any more like hardcore weapons. We don't need guns, we don't need bazookas, we don't need bombs. We don't need those things anymore. We have a far much lethal weapon that looks so harmless and so appealing and very interesting to interact with, that we underestimate the capacity of harm and destruction it has. I look on Facebook and there's this wonderful lady, she's called Mama Bobo. And people always go out there and rant and talk about stuff, whatever they're dealing with in their day-to-day life. I like how people do this in pseudo, because I think when people talk about their experiences in life outrightly like this, they're scared of being judged or being shamed. And I'm for it. If you can't get out what you're feeling through somebody else and still get help, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. And it's in this platform that when people open up, you realize that the deficiency there is out here for soul is significant. And we have tried to find things that can substitute and empty the hollowness of the soul, and it ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it. I struggle with this. You struggle with this. Every person you're walking past on the streets is struggling with filling up their soul. And I think a big contributor to this is the things that we watch, whatever we take in, besides just what we eat. What we feed our mind is a very big player in this. We have to build a routine that takes us away from our phones. Otherwise, we won't be able to have healthy relationships anywhere, in our workplaces, with our partners, with our kids, because one or the other, this is substituting that healthy part of the relation. And when I talk about healthy, I'm not talking about tough without conflict. Conflict is a key component of any healthy relationship, because it's how you go past the conflict that allows you to grow. So if you're constantly avoiding the conflict or avoiding interaction with other people by substituting that, what they're looking for, with, TV time, phone time, TikTok time, it's crazy. I think we're in a lab. It's just not the lab that we know, but we're in a lab, and we're slowly being assimilated to How do you call those things that are half humans and half bots? Humanoids. I think that's what we are getting into. Like, we are slowly being programmed. And this is the interesting part. The programming is happening by ourselves. We are the ones with the devices. We are constantly feeding the devices what we like, what we don't like, what we're looking for most, what we desire, and the algorithm just keeps building up a structure of us. Cyborgs. Yes, cyborgs. That's the word I was looking for. So, I don't know how we can sit back and relax and say, this day that the AI is going to take over, but we are building the AI. We are in sync in feeding the AI. We are giving it everything through this device. It's taking up our relations with our kids. It's taking up our relations with our colleagues in the offices. It's taking away family time. It's taking away companion time. It's just substituting everything and reducing an individual to a sole person that is not productive. So you have 24 hours in a day, and by the time you sit back and try to reflect on your day, what you have actually done is you've been on your phone for the most part of the day, trying to find a way of dealing with what you're going through inside, hoping that the person on the other end has the answer. And they could have the answer, it's just that there's too many answers. How would you know which answer is actually right? Then it bars you from experiencing things to the full length, because half of the time you're overthinking, what if? The next half you're anxious, and by the time you realize, time has significantly passed in a way that cannot be recouped back. I don't know what life is going to look like 10 years from now. But we have to find a way of stopping ourselves. I think this is the most interesting era. I don't think it's easier right now to know when to stop yourself. When there's too much to engage your brain, to engage your energy, to engage your thinking process. People can barely think right now. And thinking is what sets us apart. Having that moment to just process things, analyze them, comprehend, and objectively respond to anything, that is being taken away. And there's one interesting thing somebody told me, and I love the people that I find myself around because they're brilliant in their own ways. And this is what somebody said. He said, any perfect system is built to fail. A system is only perfect when it fails. At first, when he said that, I wanted to go in and object. I was like, let me just take that in for a moment. Any system that is perfect is built to fail. What do you think? It could be true.
Yeah.
It could be, right?
Gives room for improvement.
And it's weird because we were having a conversation of how the universe is perfect. And it went like, the universe is perfect because these failed systems. I just don't know how technology and us and how that merge is going to look like in the next 10 years. Imagine how much people are addicted right now. It's a crazy time to be sane. It's a crazy time to live in. It's a crazy time to think. Man, are we gonna have like implants put in our brains so automation just happens? What is gonna happen in the next 10 years? I don't want to time travel forward, but fuck, I want to say it's fucked up. Yes, it's fucked up, but we need to know how to unfuck ourselves. There's just too much. It's too much on the internet. And I know this conversation may have been in and out, here and there, but I hope you grasp what I'm trying to say. Right now, we live in a time where dealing with a human being feels so much complicated than it has ever been before, because you don't know if they're setting you up or whether they're genuine with you, whether they're just wearing a mask. It's even hard to process those emotions inside of you because you don't know if you're responding from a point of the trueness inside you, or is it fear-based? What is it? And I'm just trying to imagine the everyday today person that is exposed to too much information on the internet and doesn't know how to stop themselves. I don't know how they cope. I'm not perfect. I also still, I struggle a lot with just putting the phone aside, but I try to. I am more sad for the kids. Parents, we don't have time for our kids anymore. Whenever they cry, we give them the phone. Whenever they want too much of us, we give them the phone. whenever they need anything, shikahi. Human interaction is slowly by slowly being taken out of the picture. I don't know what we're going to be left with. Just vessels with no souls in the very end. Is that a worthwhile life? Is that fulfilling? Do we get to a point where we just stop and think that the most basic things that anyone ever needs is solely based on the human interactions? We are social creatures, and the social part is slowly being eradicated. You guys have yourselves a lovely week, because this year there's a lot of work to be done. That's all I know. There's a lot of work to be done. I don't know where it starts, I don't know where it stops, but there's something that needs to be done to cause a significant shift in how we perceive life. Obviously, change is inevitable. There's that part we can't control. Things will continue to happen. But how much awareness do we have around the things that are happening? No control. How much awareness?